What's up guys, it's your boy Mega and we're doing another Duelist Link Evolution. Guys, we're doing a deck we did on stream and that is Magical Musketeer. This deck is super annoying since basically all the monsters basically turn all your spell and traps into like hand traps. Kind of can be really annoying, but yeah, it does suffer with the, if you don't have a Magical Musket, the deck kind of dies. But nevertheless, let me show you why everyone I've dueled so far pretty much just flat out surrenders. Let's get into the deck profile. Okay guys, starting us off, it's of course 2 copies of Ash Blossom Joy Springs, fantastic hand trap, should be in the deck. Deck stops your opponent from doing anything from the deck. Now I'm running 3 copies of Effect Veiler, by all means you don't need to because Imperm's the better one because it triggers all your Magical Musketeer's abilities. But Effect Veiler for me, I just wanted another monster negate and that's the reason why I chucked her in. During your opponent's main phase, negate opponent's effect monster. Really great, that's the reason why I've done it. Again, it's another hand trap on top of your Magical Muskets if you didn't get Magical Musketeer. Speaking of Magical Musketeer dice, free Casper, the friendly ghost. Casper is by far the best of the Magical Musketeers. I'm not really running a lot because they're not really too great apart from Casper. Casper, if you activate, if a spell or trap is activated in the same column as it, you get to add any Magical Musketeer card from your deck to your hand other than the card that was activated. Guys, I want to highly stress out, every Magical Musketeer has the ability where you can activate Magical Musketeer spell or traps from your hand. So all of our Magical Musketeer cards, hand traps, on top of already hand traps. And Casper just adds more hand traps. That's why Casper's the best one. That's why we're running it. Guys, 2 copies of Doc. Doc is kind of like your occurrence, so if a spell trap is activated in its column, Dark lets you add a Magical Musketeer spell or trap from your graveyard back to your hand, kind of great. And also because it's level 3, we get special summoning off Ties of the Brethren. Kid Brave lets us draw 2 cards simply by discarding a Magical Musketeer if a spell or trap was used in its column. I kind of use this if I need to like discard a monster, like if I've got a dead monster I want to draw 2, because then that way you could draw like some more Magical Musketeer spell or traps, or you could draw a hand trap off a Kid Brave. That's right, you run him. 3 Starfall. Starfall's kind of like a searcher to go into Casper. So if a spell trap is activated in its same column, you get to add you get special summon a level 4 level Musketeer in defense mode. Casper is your best bet because it has 2,000 defense points, and also like I say, Casper has that search ability. Well, that reinforcement of the army for spell or traps, so that's why Casper's the best one to summon off of Starfire. Then finally, I'm running that Magical Musketeer Wild. I don't really use this guy as much because, like, basically I'm using him because he's got the name Magical Musketeer in his name, which means you can go into the Link monster, you can activate your spell or traps, and all. So you can discard it off Kid Brave to draw 2 cards. Yes, he has the ability where you can get 3 of your Magical Musketeer cards in the graveyard, shuffle it into the deck, then draw a card. So kind of like recurrence if the game is going on too long. And that's for monsters. You might think, wow, you're only running like a grand total of like what? We're running like 10 Magical Musketeer monsters. No, we're running like 11 Magical Musketeer monsters. Yeah, that's because not a lot of them are decent. So that's why the lower level ones are the best ones, but I didn't want to basically just rely on them. That's why I'm using stuff like Starfall and that low wild. Spell guys, running 3 copies of Cross Domination. This card is insane. If you control Magical Musketeer, you can target face-up monster you can control, face-up monster on the field. Not only is effect is negated, its attack and offensive going to 0. And guys, you can do this during battle calculation. You can do this like if you attacked. Your opponent flips up a monster, say it's Mania Bug. You can play Cross Domination to negate the Mania Bug. You see what I mean? It's just absolutely fantastic. Mandatory card, and it's just another monster to negate on top of on top of Effect Veiler and Imperm. 2 copies of Steady Hands. Steady Hands doubles our monster's attack points, so it's like your opponent has to think twice about attacking into one of your monsters because they think, oh shit, they're going to basically die. I want to note you can also run Honest in this deck as well because all your Magical Musketeers are light attribute. So you could even run Honest as another hand trap to just basically make it so your Musketeers can also get over any cards. You don't really have to run Steady Hands, but Steady Hands does trigger your monster's abilities because, you know, it's a spell. Then 3 copies of Power of Extravagance, absolutely fantastic card guys. So apart from the Link monster, the Magical Musketeer Link monster, you don't particularly need your extra deck. That's why Power of Extravagance is really fantastic because I'm not going to lie guys, the Magical Musketeers can win on their own. That's why Extra is actually fantastic. And then if you do it turn 2 or turn 3, if you've got Magical Musketeer off, not only do you draw 2 cards, but say you've got Casper. You could do draw 2 cards and then Casper adds another card. Absolutely fantastic. Extra, I've really saved my bacon a lot of times in the duels. Ties of the Brethren, this card is absolutely broken in Magical Musketeer. Reason why, guys, is because all the Magical Musketeers have the same attribute type, and majority of them have the same level, which means, say you've got Doc, Kit, Brave, or Casper. You can play Ties of the Brethren to special summon the other 2. So, say I've got Casper, I can special summon Doc and Kid Brave from deck. And then, because obviously you've played a spell in in Casper's column, you get to add a spell or trap from deck to your hands. You see what I mean? And it also would work the same if you played Kid Brave or Doc. So you could play Kid Brave's ability. So if you did it on Kid Brave, summon Casper and Doc, Kid Brave will then let you discard a Magical Musketeer that you don't want, draw another 2 cards. Ties of the Brethren, really great. It does lock you from special summoning afterwards, so you can't go into the Link monster. But I found Ties of the Brethren just really great to like swarm the field with the Magical Muskets if you didn't draw them. On to traps, guys. 3 copies of Crackdown. I found this card to be really great because you just yoink your opponent's monster, like, especially if they're using their normal summon, like start off their combo, or you steal like their combo extender. And also, again, because it's a spell or trap, it's going to trigger your monster's abilities, so that's why it's great. And then you just use your opponent's monster to just link summon into anyway, if you haven't banished off for extra. So that's why, yeah, Crackdown was really great. 3 copies of Infinite Permanence, guys, because it is another monster negate, and like I say, you can play from your hand going second, but going first. If you've already got that Magical Musketeer, just set it in the Magical Musketeer's column. Yeah, you're not really playing around Met Knights, but you can. But you would also trigger your Magical Musketeer's effect on top of negating a monster. Then, if any spell traps activate in the same column, it's negated. So that's really great. Magical Musketeer Dancing Needle, guys. I did not realize Magical Musketeer had their own version of Shadol Aerial. So basically, you can target up to 3 cards your opponent's graveyard, banish them. It's like a Call by the Grave ×3, but it doesn't negate the card. So yeah, so Dancing Needle is really great, especially if your opponent's going to play like Monster Reborn, recur stuff from the graveyard and stuff like that. Just banish it. Like, especially getting good up against like Sandman Greats or like Cyber Dragons, because then they get them out of the graveyard. They can't trigger like the certain abilities. Desperado. I always call this guy's Despacito, so I do apologize if I name it wrong. Desperado is basically a monster. Is basically a pop. So you can target 1 face-up card on the field, destroy it, and that's really great because it's just a free interruption. And like I said, they can use from your hand, and again, because it's a trap, triggers your monster's abilities. And finally, Last Stand is a counter trap. Is a counter trap card that can negate an opponent's spell or trap. So because this card's a counter trap, your opponent can't like respond to it in a way unless they have a counter trap of their own, I believe. So say for instance your opponent plays your opponent plays Imperm, you play Last Stand to negate the Imperm, and they have something like Herald of the Arclight or Borrowed Savage. They can't respond to Last Stand with their monster because it's a counter trap. And yes, so like I say, it just negates the card and destroy it. So it's really great for spell and traps. And that's what they get, guys. Just basically standard like Magical Musketeer. We just chucked this together on stream. It looked really great, and we kept winning, so I decided to keep it. Really annoys a lot of people because they just have to, because they don't know what's in your hand. So they have to basically just hope and pray you don't have any hand traps. Then going on to the extra deck, guys, because we are going to be banishing a lot of it off of extra, I basically went with like certain cards that I thought would be good, then added like 2 or 3 copies of them. So that's why it's kind of looking like it is. So 2 copies of Borrow Sword, again, because again, you can banish it, so that's why I'm running 2. This guy basically is going to help us OTK if we can't. Like if you've got damage on board, like you see, you can even steal your opponent's monster, guys. Like I say, off a Crackdown, so you can use their monster to help you go into Borrow Sword for the OTK. Hip Hoshenigan, I believe it's called. I don't know what it's called. You need 2 light attribute monsters to go into this, guys, and also all light monsters gain 500 attack and defense. All your Magical Musketeers are light attributes. That means this guy's going to empower all your already powerful Magical Musketeers, give them more power, you're going to have more attack points, so it's going to be harder for your opponent to out. And then, of course, if this card is destroyed by battle by card effect, you get to add a Magical Musketeer back from your graveyard. 2 copies of RP Masqueraders is going to help us go into either Nightmare Phoenix or Nightmare Unicorn during your opponent's turn, or if you've already got another Link monster like Hosh Squadron, you can go into a Boa's Sword, or you could go into our Crusadia Avamax. It's basically just another thing, like it's like another spell trap destruction or another interruption during your opponent's turn. Because say Masquerade as a quick effect can Link summon during your opponent's turn, and that monster can't be destroyed by card effects. Phoenix basically discard a card, destroy a spell or trap on the field. Unicorn lets you discard a card, target 1 card on the field, return it back to the deck. So again, if you did that Nightmare Unicorn and RP Masquerader and Unicorn, you can do that during your opponent's turn for another interruption on top of your board. We've got Magical Musketeer Max. This is a really great card, and also because it's a light attribute, you can basically go from the Magical Musketeer into Max, then into the Hop. If you want to go into Hop, so please bear that in mind. So this card's got 2 effects, and one of them is if you get to add a Magical Musketeer spell or trap up to the number of monsters your opponent controls, or you get to special summon a Magical Musketeer from your deck equal to the number of spell or traps your opponent controls. So if your opponent like sets 5, if you go into Max, you're going to summon 5 monsters from deck. If they like set 4 cards, you're going to add 4 cards, like 4 spell or traps from your deck to your hand. Max is really great for basically just keep adding resources or summoning resources and just comboing off. That's why I'm running it free, because obviously you don't really want to bunch it off the extra. And finally, that lone copy of Avamax, because I did have something else. I had something else, but Hop was so good, so that's why I pumped it up to 3. And I took out 1 Avamax. You could put Hop down to 2 and put in 3 Avamax by all means. Avamax, if it basically can't be targeted by card effects, if you made it with Masquerade, it then can't be destroyed by card effects on top of it. And if it battles a special summon monster, it gains that monster's attack, which means Avamax is really, really difficult to out. And finally, if this card leaves the field by your opponent, you get a special on 1 card, so you get to shuffle 1 card on the field back into the deck. Really great. And that's it for the deck, guys. I really do hope you guys enjoy. It's a really fun deck. Again, hop into stream for the live experience at twitch.tv/makergaming, or join Discord, guys, and you'll be able to see when I go live, or just for basically chatting about this game. Without any further ado, guys, if you like this deck, hit that subscribe button, or consider or maybe hit that thumbs up, because either one does help out the channel grow. Without further ado, guys, take care, have a great day or night, goodbye.